Anyway, it has been a wild ride of a week. The girls are not with me today, so I'm doing this on my own. Sucks. It's way more fun with them. But, like Sarah said, she said, it just feels like the world is upside down right now. And it does feel like that. There's a lot to do. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of preparing. There's a lot of researching. There's a lot of news watching, and it changes moment by moment. I mean, what was it? Friday, I got one email from my son's college saying that they were going to finish out until spring break, and then they were going to have the option to do school online after spring break to finish out the semester. And literally hours later, they were like, okay, well, we're shutting down the school. The kids can go home. We're going to do online school next semester. And so between, his school and my other 3 kids' schools, and, my head has just been spinning, just trying to figure out what they're doing or what they're not doing or what I need to prepare for them, let alone my whole household. But we'll get more to that later. I actually want to start off talking about something that was super awesome last week. And that was the roundtable discussion with Ashley Everly at the Karlfeldt Center. It was really it was so special. It was such a special event to be a part of. There were new parents in there that knew a little bit about vaccines, didn't know everything, clearly, that's why they were there. And they were there with really sincere, fair questions. But it just reminded me so much of when I was a new mom and I was trying to figure everything out. And I certainly didn't have the support system that we've created here in Idaho, and even the rest of the United States. They all have groups that are working together and helping to educate. And what a special thing to be a part of, those new parents' journeys, right? Where they're just trying to figure it out. They're asking questions. They're bringing a friend. I think 2 people in there brought friends. So, that was extra people that were learning and discussing and on that path together. It was really sweet because actually I did have a friend. We were trying to figure out the vaccine issue when my older children were first born. And we were emailing information back and forth and trying to sort through it and trying to figure it all out. What does it mean that there's mercury in these vaccines? Is that safe to inject into a child? What's the safe level? All those questions. So I really appreciated that there was this roundtable discussion with, of course, the brilliant Ashley Everly leading the discussion with loads of science on her lap in different books and binders. And so it was just a really special time. And we do that on the second Thursday of every month at the Karlfeldt Center. So check our events to see what time and what the new topic will be, because that changes every month. So that was a really special thing to be a part of. Let's see, we also had our new member potluck. So when you go to healthfreedomidaho.org and you become a member, then, which is just $10 a year, then we actually want to meet you in person. And we had some members that have been around a long time and some new members that we wanted to meet in person. And then we move you to your regional group after you've been met in person and you get to know you a little bit. We try to keep those groups really, really safe and positive. So anyway, we got to meet those people in real life. It was so awesome. I had to look people up on Facebook. Once they told me their name, I had to look them up on Facebook to see what they look like on Facebook, or what is your Facebook name, to feel like, okay, yes, I do know you. Oh, yes, I have seen what you've been posting. So how magical, really. It was really special and unique to get to know these people in person and hear about their families and their children and things you wouldn't share on Facebook. As you know, I rarely put pictures of my children on Facebook. I might do like a side profile or the backs of them. And so for everybody to get to meet my children, that was really special. Let's see. Legislative session is almost over. So I don't know if you all saw the call to action to email your representatives and, let them know that you really appreciate that they are protecting your parental rights and how important that is to you and why. Share a personal story with your legislator. Excuse me. And when legislative session is over, it's not a time to stop. This is the time to get to know your representative. This is a year where they'll be running again. So we will be coming out with a voter's guide, and you will need to know who to vote for. Who are the new people? How have the ones in office been voting, and should they be coming back or not? This is your time to make a difference. Educated voting. And please don't be fooled by the R by their name. I know a lot of people are moving here from other states, and they expect that if there's an R by their name that they're going to protect parental rights and protect vaccine freedom, but that just is not the case. So check and see the way they voted over the years. You know, it's going to take a few years, the ones that have been in there a longer time, to see how they actually vote on these issues. And like I said, Health Freedom Idaho will come out with a voter guide. Oh, I'm ready for legislative session to be over. But to be honest, the coronavirus issue has kind of trumped my all my time and all my resources, all my education and research has gone to the coronavirus, as I'm sure it has for all of you. And I don't know where you land on things. You know, I've seen everything in the book from the world is coming to an end, everything's crashing, the global world is taking over, everything's going to go to a one world government, a one world healthcare system. Like that's one view. And then the other view is the nationalists are going to win. We're going to make America great again. We're going to go to gold backed. We're going to get rid of the Fed. You know, I don't know. I mean, really, I don't know. And I've kind of pulled away from that for myself and have decided to get proactive for my family. It kind of reminds me of my little one yesterday. She had forgotten something or lost something, and she like face palmed, and she stayed there for, you know, dramatically for so long with her face in the palm of her hand, and oh no, what do I do? And I was watching her and I was like, you know, that's a colossal waste of time. You know, if you need to go find your whatever it was that she lost, then go look around and go find it. And it kind of struck home with me, like, it's a colossal waste of time for me to sit here wringing my hands. I can get busy and prepare for my family. So yesterday, and I mean, I've been doing a little bit each day, but yesterday I was like, you know what I need to do? Grow food. I need to grow food. So I kind of wanted to share some things with you all that people have been asking me, you know, what are you doing? And it's just a few things. I think a lot of you are thinking the same things I'm thinking: rice, beans, flour, sugar, fats, you know, things like that. But some of the things I noticed other people hadn't thought of was maybe wound care. I mean, this isn't the time that I'm going to be wanting to go to an urgent care over a cut or a burn or anything like that, right? Of course, we need to be more careful. But it's a good time to have those kind of emergency things on hand at home to be able to take care of yourself if you can. And of course, fevers and things like that, right? Are you prepared with Epsom salt baths? Things like that. Obviously, cleaners. And a fire extinguisher. A friend of mine, I was saying, you know, do you have a couple fire extinguishers? Are you prepared for that? So just kind of some of the things that we might not be thinking of. But now I'm going even next level. Like, how do I grow my own food? And I am no farmer. That is what I've realized this morning as I'm listening to North End Nursery. I went there yesterday and got some seeds, and I'll tell you that there are some that are non-GMO and organic, and some of them are already selling out. So if you haven't thought of getting some seeds, getting some soil, you might do that this week over at North End. And but like, you know, you're taking a city girl like me trying to figure out how to farm, and I'm watching this video online about putting a cover over it and the pH of things and which soil at what level and starting the seeds and taking them outside and bringing them inside. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is why people are farmers. I'm a property manager and a real estate agent. I don't expect anybody to just be able to walk in and do my job. I also realize I can't walk in and do a farmer's job. So I'm going to get a crash course and, you know, obviously not go too crazy about it, but start learning how to take care of growing food for my family. And what better time to do that, right? And another place I wanted to point you to is the Patriotic Nurse. She has a YouTube channel, She's a nurse and she's a Christian and she's a true patriot. So she comes at these issues from all of those perspectives, which I really appreciate. And she's calm, she is methodical, she is really smart, and she's been watching these things for a long time. So I appreciate her perspective and what she shared. Gosh, I think it was yesterday. I shared it on my personal page, but also you can go to Patriot Nurse on YouTube. And she shared that, little ones who have really strong immune systems, while they may not be the ones getting very sick and dying, they can actually be carrying it, right? Because they could have a little sniffle or a little fever and you don't think much of it. You're not thinking it's the coronavirus with a little fever and a little sniffle, but they can actually be spreading it. They could actually have it and be spreading it, not even totally unaware. So that definitely gave me a new perspective on some things. Another thing that she said that I thought was really, really important is that with the kind of freedom and liberty that we have and cherish comes a responsibility to do the right thing. And I'm not going to tell you guys what that is for you, but I would definitely recommend watching it and giving it some thought for you and your family. I do work from home quite a bit, and I can work from home. And maybe am thinking more seriously about being home more often, saying no to outside things more often, and having that personal accountability because I do want to protect my liberty. And it dawned on me, if we show that we handle these things with integrity and we do the right thing, then maybe the government won't feel the need to overreact all the time and put their thumb on people, because we can show that we are self-sufficient. We know what to do and how to handle it and how to protect our families and how to care for each other, our community. Oh, let's see. That's the little preparation part. Actually, if you want to post below what you're doing to prepare, I would really love to see what everybody else is doing. Oh, I saw somebody else say, they're getting games and books and things to do at home with their kids. I've got this book I've been meaning to do with my kids forever, learning how to tie knots. Like if we're stuck at home, I'm going to pull that book out and I'm going to pull out the rope and we're going to figure out how to tie all these cool fancy knots. So I think that's also another good idea, is getting things that occupy your time, things that you can do so you don't go stir crazy if you decide to be home. But I would really like to hear from you all. What are you doing? What is kind of maybe something other people might not be thinking of? But also, you guys, a lot of people watch this page that really don't know. So like putting the basic stuff is a good idea too. So post below what you're doing to prepare, because obviously this is going to be rough on the economy. This is going to be rough on people's health, right? And really, fear is terrible, terrible for our health. So that leads me to what I told my children is their responsibility in this in our household, because of course, Dr. Michael and I are carrying the brunt of how do we prepare our family. And they don't have, they're living in like la la land and happy little youthful innocence, which I am jealous of sometimes. Anyway, I told them that their job in this time is to be light, to be little lights, to raise the vibration. Like arguing over nonsense. I don't know if you have younger ones at home. My younger ones are 9 and 11, and it's a constant bicker over nonsense. Yes, drives me crazy. So I told them, your job is to raise the vibration in our home, raise the vibration in the world around you. Stop bickering over nonsense and show kindness. And I think it's really how we all should be right now, showing kindness to each other. The Patriot Nurse, actually today, she mentioned, not always taking the last of things. If I have plenty, am I going to take that last one? And she was specifically talking about hand sanitizer, maybe leaving that for the elderly person that's behind you that needs it more than you do. Maybe you've got 20 bottles at home, or however many it is for you that you think you need to have, not just impulse buying the last one of everything. And I had to fight that yesterday when I was at the grocery store. Do I really need this last coconut water, or do I have enough? I have enough coconut water, And she made the point that sometimes when you do that and you leave something for someone else that you have plenty of, that when you need that other thing, you might find there's one left for you. So I think it's really important that during this time we're raising the vibration, we're being thoughtful of our community, saying something kind to people today and the rest of this week as we move through this. Because really, the dark forces love and prey upon our fear. And it hurts our health. It hurts our environment. It hurts our children. It hurts the vibration of our home and our communities and our churches and even at the grocery store. They're at the grocery store, they must be slammed. They must be working so hard. So we just need to be thanking people, right? What better way to raise the vibration? Thank you for your hard work. So give a compliment today, right? So, and maybe turn off the news today on Sunday, God's day, and worship and be thankful. So that's just my 2 cents on the whole thing. Of course, there's lots of news to get into about it, and you're all watching it. I'm sure you're digging into what other countries are doing and the concern about forced vaccination and all those things. And all of that, not that there isn't a place for that, but it does weigh heavy. It weighs heavy on our shoulders, and then it brings down our communities. So maybe today, on God's day, our Maker, we just lay it down and try to raise the vibration today. I know we all have a lot to do. I have a lot to do. I really was like, am I going to do this video or not do this video? I have so much to do. But of course I am. I love you all. I love you all so much. And I really want to just open up the conversation to what are you doing to prepare? And what are you doing to raise the vibration in your family, your community, your churches, whatever it is? I have determined that today I'm going to make sure and look my children in the eye and give them a genuine compliment, a thought out genuine compliment, and just, boost their little self-esteem today. And when I'm out and about today, I'm going to thank somebody. I'm going to say thank you for your hard work. So, because really the world is working hard right now to try to overcome something it's going to be pretty traumatic. It's going to be hard. Economically, it's going to be hard. And if we don't get in that practice now, then I think it's going to become harder and harder and harder to have that blessing attitude and be raising that vibration. So let's get in the practice right now. So let's see, what do we have coming up? Well, we'll have our next new member potluck. I believe that's the first Friday of April. So if you aren't already a member, please go to healthfreedomidaho.org and be looking for an invitation in your email to join us, because I'd really love to meet you in person. And we have to decide. We'll have to see how things are at that point as far as gathering in person. But we're kind of day by day, isn't it? But I can tell you there is nothing more beautiful than getting off this damn device and meeting people in person. I've been enjoying it immensely. It's like my soul has been thirsty for real people interaction from my real tribe. So I hope we don't have that robbed from us. And if so, maybe we'd go on Zoom and meet each other on Zoom, because I'm not going to stop. We can't stop trying to see each other and communicating with each other in some level, whichever level that is that's safe, right? We have personal accountability. I think you just heard my dog. She was agreeing. Sadie. Okay, well, that's all I have. Share down below. What are you doing to prepare? And what have you done or will do today to raise the vibration? I hope you all have a wonderful day and you enjoy your family immensely, even in the midst of a hard time. God bless you. Have a good day.